are late or anything. So give us 1 minute so that we can then start. Thank you. Okay, seems like we are already 1 minute past 2:30. So let's begin. As I said, we are discussing about field staff tracking. Field staff is growing today. Why and how? It has been always in the culture of India, specifically because we are the ones who would like to meet people, greet people, see how they are, and everything, right? So, who this is for? So, let us look at who's going to be benefited out of all the information that we are going to be looking at. It's for operations heads managing field teams because that's absolutely the necessity for the operation heads to manage them well and know what is happening. Finance teams handling claims, expenses, absolutely necessary for finance teams to be aware that what is exactly coming in and what are they signing off on. And HR and admin teams overseeing attendance and policy compliances because they are the ones who ultimately take decision onto anything which is not compliant. How do they visualize and everything? Let's look at what exactly are you going to be seeing or learning or exploring today. Okay. Real cost of poor field visibility. There is cost associated with everything that doesn't give you visibility. We have been talking about visibility since the first webinar that we started doing because visibility is one particular thing that is connecting everything together. And if there is no visibility, there's nothing. That is the reason why visibility is absolutely necessary. Imagine of you being a manager having no visibility onto your team. How insecure would you be? Global data on expense fraud. Okay. So there are expenses which people claim. There are lots of frauds which happen. I did not go somewhere. I have a very nice and practical and realistic use case I'll be sharing with you. Very exciting. Some of us might have already done something like that, or we would have seen a very close associate doing it. And that is where the global data also talks about. Now, the third is we will be talking about how TimeChamp would be working on to solving it. How do we help our customers? How do we help, all the business leaders to try and see that visibility and solve this particular issue? A short walkthrough on of how it works, what it does, how it, connects all the dots. And then we can look at a free operational audit at the end or once you connect back with us. Let's look at the problem nobody talks about. Now, there are so many problems which are faced by the team managers and the teams themselves and everybody. The problem is you want to trust your people, you want to trust your field staff, you want to trust everybody whom you're working with because without trust, there's no business. At the same point, there are questions which keep running in your mind. The questions are, was the visit really done? If Divyanshu claims he went to a specific place, did he really go to that place or not? Why are claims always late and inflated? Always a problem, right? People spending 10 rupees claiming 20, etc. for food and everything because 99% of the times we have to, give them the claims. Why are reimbursements stuck in cycles? There are issues. There are times when they are stuck in long cycles because there's no proof. The proof is a little shabby, needs more confirmation, needs more information. There is no way to find that information, what to do. There's a delay. Now, manual reporting, which most of the companies right now follow, bring in delays, inaccuracies, and revenue leakages. What happens is time is lost and margins suffer because you end up paying extra to those people, your very own people, by the margins you were supposed to be getting. So definitely they suffer, along with the time that has been taken into redoing things and managing and looking for information, understanding whether this is right or wrong. Let me help you meet with Manoj. You remember last time we met with Aditi. So this is Manoj, my invisible guy, who basically is a zonal sales manager. What happens with Manoj is he manages 200 reps across 18 cities. The problem that he faces is every week, 5x expense claims of that 200, which is about 1,000, no location proof. 20% of time spent on validating reports, no synchronization. Finance looped in for late submissions, no synchronization again. And ops can't tell who's productive and who isn't, no visibility. I was actually, before this particular webinar that we started, I was talking to Manoj separately and trying to understand what exactly happens. What he told is that when there are reports that they need to validate, they go on some, WhatsApp, which talks about the specific location a person was at. They also have some kind of Google history of people visiting some place. They also try to see if there are any written or printed receipts of food or any other, charge that they had. However, there is no unified system which actually tells them at one place everything, and then they can validate and they can be more visible for them and synchronized and may help them to make more decisions, make more clear decisions into what is approved, what is not approved, is if something is rejected, why it is rejected. Global data on field blind spots. Now, this is the global data which says IDC survey, which says 20 to 30% of expense claims have errors and fraud. EY Global says 1 in 5 employees admit to exaggerating claims. Gartner says organizations without digital claim systems overspend about 90%, 19%, which I think is less. It would be more by my own experience. PwC says 40% of companies lack visibility into daily field operations. Isn't it too much? Forrester says companies with field tracking report 22% higher revenue per employee. Now, this is global surveys, okay? Not only about India, not only about US or anything, this is global. So this particular problem of a blind spot onto people working on field, not having visibility, not having one unified system to provide you all the information is actually a big monster, big issue. And that is where we have to talk about what you know about it. How are you currently, tracking your field visits? Is it through paper logs? Is it through Excel or Google Forms, WhatsApp check-ins, or GPS-based tracking system? Let's look at, going ahead and looking at a poll over here. So I would like to invite you. You will have poll options on your screen now. You can click on whatever you feel is the most important or most signified reason or thing that you do right now. How are your field visits being tracked? So can we have the poll, please? And we'll give about a minute or two for you all to go ahead and click. Unfortunately, I cannot select one option, so I'm so sorry about that, but you all are invited to. And then after a minute, we will see that which one goes the most, okay? And we'll have a very simple response on it. Half a minute is gone. I hope you're selecting. We'll wait for another 30 seconds before moving forward. Okay. All right. So I hope that you all would have selected something. So it could be paper logs or Excel Google form or WhatsApp check-ins or GPS-based tracking, right? So we might have a result coming up soon. And whatever the result is, okay, understand it lacks one thing, which I've already stated a couple of times. I don't want to bore you with that, but no unified system with all information at one place is what actually stops any manager, admin, finance, and operations to take a rightful decision or a confident decision, and even the management to have a complete faith on what is happening. See that? We have 9% on paper logs, 23% on Excel and Google Forms. Okay, not bad. I wouldn't say it is bad, but it means that paper logs, I might, just do something, fraudulent paper logs, or Excel and Google Forms, which have no validation or they have to be brought into the system. WhatsApp check-ins, 23%, and GPS-based tracking system is 45%. Amazing. the next question, which is not here, is from me to you, and think about it. Don't need to answer, just need to think about it. How does your system track and provide you with the information? We will be collaborating and looking at the various calculations and understanding what is the major difference. How do we actually make a difference? Okay. So common field ops pain points. Let us look at the pain points for people who are tracking through paper, people who are tracking through your Excel, and everybody else also. Let us look at what exactly happens. No GPS proof of visits. How does that make any sense? Or how does that actually prove a point? The problem is that you may know that Divyanshu was at 2 p.m. at one place. Okay. However, when he sends his GPS proof, what is the proof that he really met the customer? What is the proof that he really, really was there at that very point of time? Or how long was he there for? Was he there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or next 4 hours? And then the Divyanshu claimed that, oh, the next visit, the customer denied. How do you have that kind of information? Do you? If you have, great. Otherwise, let's look at the next. Duplicate or inflated claims. Let me tell you this. Okay, this is a real case scenario of a friend of mine or ex-colleague. I was working in an organization. We were normally meeting all the government organizations, working for the water department, helping them with softwares and other things in terms of certain things in Jal Shakti in India. We went to a place called as Bhubaneswar. Many people know it. A very prominent place. And there was one colleague of mine, okay, ex-colleague, not in the current company, in a old company around 6, 7 years ago. And we parked ourselves into a particular hotel which was charging us X amount. And this guy, he comes to me next day and he tells double amount of it. He has a receipt, he has a bill, a proper bill. Okay. So this guy had actually printed a bill book. Imagine that. Okay. The kind of fraud that was. He had actually printed a duplicate bill book with a different number so that you cannot call and you cannot confirm, but the amount was double. Instead of 900 rupees per person in a room, it was actually 1815. Okay. And he says, do you want that? Now just imagine he has the audacity to actually go ahead and print a book. Who all could be doing that? Or might be giving something to a person to say that, okay, why not you put an extra amount? So there are duplicate or inflated claims which are flowing across, which do happen. This is very common. This is not something eureka moment or an individual who's doing it. I'm not saying that 100% of the field staff does that, but at least 20%, that's what the surveys say, right? And that is where the problem is. Paper receipts, another problem. Lost paper receipts. Now, you have a system wherein you say that our finance team are sitting in Mumbai, and if you're having any visit in Delhi or Bhubaneswar or any other place, you have to send those receipts to Mumbai office. They are lost in between in the transit. He says that the courier was done, you never received it. What would you do? Not pay? Then that results into delayed approvals. Delayed approvals, problem for you, problem for the team, problem for the field staff, because whoever are genuine, the rest of the 80% who are genuine are actually facing issues. And that is where the overworked finance and ops team come into play. They have to work extra, spend extra time into solving these, small things rather than concentrating on the revenue that is supposed to be coming in. And no real data on field productivity. It is at the most necessary that when you reached a particular location, when you met the customer, what exactly happened? Was it a productive visit? Was it a non-productive visit? Whom did you meet? What exactly happened? Do you have any kind of a document that you collected or anything? You don't have a system. You don't have that visibility. And that is the business impact of poor visibility, which we'll be looking at. Overpayment is margin erosion. No data, poor decisions, delayed in reimbursements, unhappy staff. Everybody is going to be unhappy because it has been delayed because of all the new or all the things that are going to be needed. And then the blame is going to be taken by whom? The management. Managers waste 15 plus hours or month on validation, and it happens. Okay, large teams, 100 people, 200 people scattered everywhere, 1,000 people scattered everywhere. Managers have to waste their time because I call it as a waste of time because managers are supposed to be taking care of managing themselves and the management and the people. Rather, they are wasting their time into validation, trying to ask, Have you really gone there? Did you do this? What exactly happened? Because there's no visibility. Okay. Field team accountability and guesswork. I think I told in the last webinar or not, but I was just in, a restaurant the other day, and there was this person. Seriously, this is a real story. Okay. So there was this person who was from an insurance company sitting absolutely next to the table that I was sitting and waiting for my food. This guy actually called up his boss and he says that the field staff has not reached the place while the customer has already reached. And it was raining in Pune. The field staff says there is no way to reach the location. However, the customer traveled 4 kilometers and reached the location. So there was a heated argument between the manager and the guy who was sitting in the restaurant about a field staff who was imaginary and somewhere, and nobody of these two, neither the customer knew where he is exactly. And that's where the guesswork starts. He says he was at this place. He says he was at this place. The field staff says it is raining. Everywhere there is rain, waterlogging. How would I go? And that's where the business impact is. You cannot make your customers happy, or you cannot make them meet the customers. And if that is the case, how would you do business? What bad looks like? Let's look at one company X as an example. We have them as a customer, 400 field staff, manual trip logs, claims processed in 9 to 12 days because of the back and forth of information that has to be done. 14% expense inflation annually. Huge, right? Imagine of no location proof and finance team in constant back and forth with the information with the people. Instead of working about how much profit are we making as an organization? What are the gaps? What can we do? How can we be more aligned with the operations and everybody? They are working on this documentation back and forth and trying to reject and approve the claims based on what they can see. And let's look at what food looks like. Now, let's look at situations wherein if you have those information, if you have one unified system, just like TimeChamp, how would you actually gain benefit? So mobile GPS checks in and checks out, snap receipts instantly, claim approval cycle 1 or 2 days because you have information in a unified system. You don't need to keep worrying about it. Real-time dashboards for ops and finance to view all the information that is needed, which results into 15% cost reduction in 1 quarter. I would say 1 quarter is still a little bit of a long time. You would start seeing results in 1 month. That is, I can really, really assure from my personal viewpoint. TimeChamp solution to all problems. Field staff start stay, GPS check-in. Visits log, location timestamp, auto tracked. They don't need to actually go ahead and always say that, okay, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. It can be auto tracked. It can tell you automatically, it can tell them automatically. This is where you are. I have it in my phone, I can show you. Expenses added with photo receipts. You have the photo receipts and those photo receipts are added. Instead of somebody saying, okay, you had this food on a piece of paper written by hand, you have a restaurant receipt, which helps you to understand whether it is right or not. Manager gets instant approval view. As soon as it is claimed, a claim has been placed, there is an instant information to the manager stating that, okay, this is a claim which is there and please approve or reject it based on the reality. Expense dashboard auto updated. Now imagine I'm at a place where you sent me. I went there. I met the customer. You can track my activity on the GPS through the GPS, and you can know at what time did I go there automatically. When I'm out with the customer having lunch or myself having lunch, putting up a particular receipt, you can know that what time did I visit? Did I have any timestamp of my visit and the receipt? You get an approval request, sorry. You get it up immediately and expense dashboard has been automatically updated based on your approval rejection or any more information that has been needed. How fast it can be, how much time does it save? So imagine that. Let's look at the key features. For field tracking, what it does, it provides you auto GPS login, visit logs and location history. You can see a tiny map over there. So that is the map wherein you can see the auto GPS login. You will be able to see when that person started, where they started from, how many kilometers did they travel from point A to point B, till what time did they wait over there at point B and before moving to point C. Okay. Missed check-in alerts. You can actually have all the information onto the missed check-in alerts. Any alert that is there. Below, you can see a complete, report which provides you the information about the visit type, the person that person met with, what was the outcome, what is the next step, and everything. You can actually customize it according to you. Next, expense automation. Snap receipts, OCR plus tagging. So now what happens is as soon as you pick up and click a snap of it, automatically it says, is it for fuel, meals, or anything else, stay, boarding, or whatever. Okay. So you don't need to do much. And fraud detection, duplicate bills, location mismatch. Imagine I have a bill for Amravati, but I was in Pune. Just imagine how different it would be. Let me give you another example. I visit Delhi, since it is the capital of India. I visit Delhi and I have a receipt for, say, Gurgaon. Okay. But I was supposed to be meeting somebody in Delhi itself, not in Gurgaon. So that is where, the location mismatches with the bill. So imagine that, right? Next, let's look at the smart approval workflows. So role-based rules. Okay. So a user, a field staff will be able to see their own information. A manager will see their relevant team information. Admin will see entire information. You can have specific finance team member seeing only the finance related thing. You can have operations team member looking at overall operations thing. You can do all those role-based rule settings accordingly into the tool. Easy approvals. Everything is at one place. Approval can be done. Rejection can be done immediately. You don't need to keep waiting. Audit trail. You can know who is the person who approved. You can see that on that particular screenshot, right? So you can see who is the person who approved it. And the currency over here would be in dollars. You can have it in dollars. You can have it in rupees. You can have it in whatever currency that you want because it's a global tool. It's not only about India. Next, dashboards and reports. So what you get into your reports and dashboards, you get field team leaderboard. Okay. So you can have a complete information onto what is happening, where it is happening and all. Visit productivity outcomes. So you can see what are the visits that a person has made and what is the outcome, what is the status of that. Does that person need to be going over there again, or is there any information which has been needed? So all that information is available. Claim summaries, you can actually see all the claim summaries, all the information that is there, and real-time alerts. Okay, so real-time alerts is something that we are still cooking. It's in the oven. So it will be done within a couple of weeks from now. So what it is going to do is you can assign a job site. Okay, so you can say that this particular team or this particular individual is responsible for this particular area. As soon as that person enters, you get an alert. As soon as the person exits, you get an alert. What happens is you know what time has that person entered and exited and how much time has that person taken to be over there and done the work. That gives you more of confidence onto your individual team members. It gives transparency, visibility, accountability at both the sides. So if tomorrow I say that I had gone there, you as my manager cannot deny, no, Divyanshu, do not go there because you have the visibility. You also know and I also know. Right? So that is how that real-time alerts is going to work. As soon as a claim is submitted, the finance team gets a alert, or the ops manager gets an alert. They can just approve or reject based on whatever they see. If there is a specific outcome of the visit, success, failure, immediate real-time alert, and you can see that what exactly is the outcome, why it is a failure. You can talk to your field staff. You can try and figure out. You can talk to your your customer, and try to figure out what exactly did not go well so that you can make a reattempt on it. Integration and scalability. Now you would be thinking, this could be a standalone tool. What it is going to do with the rest of the tools that I have? I have so many tools. We are doing so many things. Of course, many organizations have multiple tools, and that is where we sync with ERP, HRMS, and payroll teams, or sorry, tools. Okay. It is scalable to 10,000 users at one point of time. Right now, it can be more also. Real-time sync across departments. So all departments doing anything and everything, it has all the real-time sync. Customizable workflows, okay? So you can also have certain projects and tasks created on it. Like imagine you have your IT integration company. or you are a company which is having global customers or customers across India and which are B2B customers of yours. You call them as projects. You assign a particular list of projects, and then you have certain tasks within those projects, collecting documents, providing information, sharing hardware, sharing something, doing some kind of support, etc. So those are the tasks, and you can align your team members. You can align not only the teams, but also individual team members or a bunch of team members to go there and have that kind of access being done, and they can come back and they can say that, okay, this has been done. So you can have those projects and tasks and everything being created in it. That is what we call as workflows. Multi-org access. So as I mentioned earlier, you can have multiple ways of accessing the information. Various people will see various information based on the configurations that you have made. Let's look at the case study. So we have a logistics client, and let's look at what exactly happened. Okay, they have about 600 field agents, and before TimeChamp, average 11 days to process claims. They used to take about 11 days to process claims on an average. Some of them used to be in 5, 4, 2, 1, and some of them used to be on 20 or 30 days also. Claims inflated by 12 to 15%. Imagine that. After TimeChamp came into play, what happens is approval cycle is just 2 days now on an average. Expense inflation dropped to 3%. Managers recovered 20 plus hours a month. Can you imagine that time? You have two managers recovering 20 hours in a month. It's a significant amount of hours which has been saved to do all the other productive works that you expect from a manager to be done. Just imagine the thought. Reimbursement satisfaction jumps to 92%. Why? Why do you call it as a reimbursement satisfaction? Why do they say that? Because employees who are genuinely claiming without any issues, without any fraudulent things, about 80-85% at least, they could be with 100% also, they all get happy because they are getting reimbursement immediately, as in 2 days, 3 days. It's a good thing, good turnaround. So they are going to be happy. That is the reason it jumped to 22%. Wouldn't you like to be an organization who has their people happy and ready to be on the move whenever? Because one thing that I've learned in my 25 years of consultative sales, you cannot actually make sales sitting at one place. You have to be on the move. And that is where your people have to be on the move. And when they are moving, they should be eager to move, go out, meet customers, talk to them and everything. And when their claims are being reimbursed on time, they're absolutely on the go, right? Why this matters now, field teams are growing fast. As I mentioned earlier, we are traditionally a country where people would like to meet other people. And that is where field teams are growing fast because we've tried all kinds of things and we know somewhere a touch point is absolutely necessary. Everything cannot be done by only sitting online, right? Data is scattered. Okay. So data is everywhere. With every department, there is another chunk of data, another piece of data. How do you tag it? Finance wants visibility. Of course, they want visibility. What is happening? Where's the money going? How much is going? How can this particular tap be, tightened a little bit so that the money flow doesn't happen that effectively badly. Okay. It happens to be effectively, positively, nicely done. Okay. Ops want accountability. They want to understand what exactly is happening. Okay. They also want to understand that people are accountable for the work that they're doing, and they are also accountable of, answering, giving answers because ops have everybody above them to be answered to. And then you have employees who want fairness. They want fair approvals. If the claim goes 5% more, they want the company to, adjust to that 5% rather than saying, no, 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 I'm not going to pay you 5%. How would you be fair, helping them out with another 5% if they miss out on that? If they miss out on the cap, is by saving money and then giving it as a 5% one-off to that person because that person deserves it. And that is where they get motivated. TimeChamp brings this all together in one place. And that is the magic. That is where we make all the things happen. What you get, as I mentioned earlier, GPS-based field tracking, automated policy, compliant claim approvals, role-based dashboards for ops and finance, cost savings from reduced fraud, and happier, faster field teams. Now, this is something that you get, and this is not a small thing, right? You can have everything at one place, chill, relax, and concentrate on the work that is being done. What you can try and do. I'm not trying to sell it over here to you. What I'm trying to say is think about it. If you feel you can try it for free for 7 days, get in touch with us, see how it works. What you'll experience is access to TimeChamp along with field staff management. So when you try it out, you will get a access to TimeChamp. Now, TimeChamp is a huge tool which also enables you to understand what is happening with the people who are on the desk and working. If you have any of that team, which also works on the desk. You can have a free trial for 7 days for them also, which will enable you to understand how's your field team working, how's your desktop team working, or in-office team working, or remote team working, and you will be able to see more of a clarity and understanding about what is happening. Track field activities in real time. You don't have to bother about what happened yesterday. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is mystery. Today is present. Let's look at that information. It actually will be helping you to have a look at it. Assign and monitor tasks seamlessly. You can just assign them. You don't have to worry. And also you can monitor them on the go whenever you want. Identify productivity insights within a week. I think within a day is also good to say, but it will be a lot of hurry. However, within a week, you'll be able to see the productivity insights and see where the gaps are. And you will be able to start taking data driven decisions. What you'll get more is hands on experience with the platform. It's boundary free experience that you're going to have, no restrictions for 7 days. You can access whatever you want to. And we have a very good system. We have a POC team headed by very great people, and they actually enable that particular system for you based on what you want. So we just don't throw you out in the world and say, okay, this is how it looks like. We actually can connect with you, will connect with you, and give you whatever configuration you want. Okay, immediate visibility into your field operations, and you'll get a clear view of potential ROI for your team. Okay, no cost, no commitment. Okay, this is a free offer that I would like to make. Now, if you would like to have a free trial of TimeChamp, I hope somebody is going to be putting this link into the chat for everybody to view, because if I put, it will be only for us internally. So this link is available, or else you can call us. You can either scan this one, or you can call us at the numbers, which are these ones, which I'm going to display at the end. Okay. What happens next is you can book a 15-minute discovery call. I would say don't just think about 15 minutes. Think about how well are you going to spend those 15 or 25 minutes with us. Share your current workflow or flow, and we will be telling you what exactly happens from our side. Our team runs a workflow audit. You get a field visibility report plus a fixed plan. Okay, fixed plan in the sense how to fix things. Testimonials. There is one customer of us who's the FMCG brand, who happens to be the head of operations over there. Talks about TimeChamp helped us cut claim approval time by 70% and saved hours of manual checking. I would completely agree with them and would like to add something if I would be them, respectively, that it doesn't only save time, but it also saves time by cutting down the errors which happen by manual things. Okay. So let's talk. If you have any questions, you can use the chat to submit these questions, and I will be there to answer those questions. Okay. And if you have any particular things that you would like to see more, I would be open to taking you to the tool and sharing if the time permits us. But I don't want to, confuse you. Let us keep that for the demo. Let us keep that for the discussion that you would like to have with us, and we can take you to the demo. We can take you to that particular site and share that what exactly happens, how it looks like. Okay. So please feel free to start asking questions. I'm keeping this on this screen for you so that you can see the link, also the email ID that we have, and the numbers that you can anytime reach out to us for any kind of a query that you may have. Okay. So with this, I'm open for questions. I'll give a half a minute, or I'll take half a minute, putting off my cam, having water, returning back. Give me half a minute. Okay. By the time, feel free to add in your questions. Thank you. All right, I'm back. Thank you. And I see a few questions. So the first question is, give me 1 second. The first question is, what if my field staff doesn't always have internet access? Great question. I always had that question whenever I used to think about field staff tracking, anything happening on the mobile phone. What if there is no network? So our application works seamlessly if you don't even have internet at a point of time. So when the application starts, okay, at that very point of time, and by the end of the day, it has to have internet to just synchronize all the information. In between, when there is no internet, all the information is taken and gathered within the application that is installed in the mobile phone. All right. So you will not miss out on any information if you miss out on internet access. You don't need to worry about it. Okay. If you want more clarity, you can get in touch with us and we will help you see how it works practically. Okay. And the next question is, what about employees who forget to submit expense claims on time? Okay, nice question. It may happen that they forget to, like submit the expense claim on time. So we have a reporting mechanism wherein it talks about any time that I have visited to a particular location or a visit that has happened and what has been the outcome. I might have missed out on putting in the expense claim. I can anytime go back and put in an expense claim before the payroll or before I'm getting paid. And I can tag with the time that I had been on that particular visit. Okay, so there's nothing which has been missing out. All right. The next one is, we still use spreadsheets for expenses. Do we really need a system like TimeCharm? Now, I think this is a very interesting question. No? If you are successfully running something and you're habitual of working on that, see, it happens, right? So if there is a change, we often feel that no, this change may not be needed. We may not need it. We are very happy with the way how we are functioning and everything. I appreciate that thought. I love that thought because if you are working on Excel sheets, I've worked on Excel sheets for around 12 years of my career. So I completely depend on it. However, trying TimeChamp will enable you to see the frequency of errors that happen on an Excel or the time that has been taken on an Excel or the documentation that actually gets onto Excel or any other medium, etc., etc. There are multiple things that we have to do when we are working on Excel. On TimeChamp, it may be more streamlined. So try to have a look at it. Try to take a trial. It's any which way is free. It will help you to see more efficiency that is happening. All right. So it saves some time and error free or decreases the errors by a lot. All right. So the next question is, can I control who can approve of which expenses? Of course you can. Absolutely you can. And that is where the role settings are there into the application, which can ensure that a specific person who is the specific of a manager, a particular team or a person can go ahead and approve or whatever, or the finance can approve, or the operations manager can approve. Anything can be fine. Okay. So absolutely yes. Short form answer. Okay. The next question. How can I make sure my field staff are actually at the job site when they check in? Okay, so GPS tracking, it is going to tell you. And as I mentioned about those alerts, which we are working upon. So as soon as they are at the job site that you have enabled, okay, as soon as they enter that particular radius, Eureka, you get a message, you get an alert. Okay, Divyanshu entered here, he's at the job site. When he exits, oh, he exited the job site. Cool. Now, how do we track both time and expense together? I think you should get in touch with us. We can share that particular, demo with you, and we can explain you that how it works. Okay. So it is very simple. Okay. How you can do it is by knowing that this person visited. So I visited a place at 11 a.m. today, and I'm having an expense claim of 10:45 reaching over there, 11:30 leaving from there. So it matches, right? So GPS as well as the expense is going to be pretty much the same, right? So that's how it is. Okay. If it doesn't match the company policy, another question, very interesting. What if expense doesn't match company policy? Just unapprove it, reject it. You can put in a comment stating that more information needed, not as per company policy, something which is not right, something which is not complete. You can put in that question. And definitely you can ask the employee to fill in more. Okay, I'll take one more question. We are already 41 minutes on it. So one or two last questions. There's one more question by Rupam who asks, how do you manage employee rule? Can your system set per diem for employee? Okay, yes. So you can actually do all of that in the configurations. Okay, so that is not a problem. You can fill all those, you can configure it as per users. You can configure it as per the team and everything. We can show you at the demo. So feel free to book a demo with us. Okay, it will really be helpful to, understand any other things that you may have to put in. Okay, then we have one more question, two more questions. Let me take them. Okay, what if employees goes on work trip for 3-4 days in different city? Can I get continuous track for all these days? Yes, of course, you will get. You will in fact know that if Divyanshu claims that he's going to Kerala or going to a particular city for customer meeting, and what if Divyanshu is actually in Goa and chilling out over there, right? So you can get all that information, right? That out of those 3 or 4 days, where exactly did Divyanshu go? So all that information is absolutely going to be available. Nothing hidden from anywhere. Okay. And last question of the day. What if they live and work at the same geographical area? How will the app recognize? Ah, very interesting. Now, I stay in Mumbai. Okay. So Mumbai is very big, as you know. So if anybody of you can resonate that from in Mumbai, there is a place called as Bandra, and then there is a place which is called as Worli. It is not very far from each other. Okay. But as I move, every movement is copied or is being tracked. Okay. So all that movement, even if I make it for 5 meters or 50 meters or 5 kilometers, is matched. Okay. So it will tell you that even though Divyanshu is in the same vicinity where he stays and his work is, you will know that where is he traveling from to and fro. Okay. So you can also set an alert the way Divyanshu starts his day, where he travels. So in the visit report, in the travel report, in the attendance report, you will see the first check-in time and the location, the checkout time and location. Okay. So that is what you can actually track. In fact, you can configure it for automatic tracking for 24/7, which I personally don't recommend because people have their personal space. However, you can keep it for a specific time frame. Okay, 9 to 6, and wherever I'm moving in 9 to 6, you can know. Okay, cool. So we finish up our time as well as all the questions. Some of the questions may remain unanswered. I would request that one of us will be definitely getting in touch with you and answering all those questions. Any particular situations you want demo, feel free to get in touch. We are more than eager to talk to you and explain how it works because it is a tool which will enable you to do more with your field teams. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for spending your time with us and giving us the opportunity to connect with you, speak with you, and exploring the field staff opportunities, challenges, and issues together. Okay. Feel free to get in touch. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day. Bye bye. See you.